Well, the Elon bad, Elon destroying Tesla Psyop continues, and if you happen to know anyone who's fallen for this, they're probably quintuple boosted as well. Enough said. It's not all FUD. Folks like Dan Ives still holding steady, keeping their eyes on the prize, but I did predict the attacks on Elon, anything to do with the man, including Tesla, his only publicly traded company, will continue to intensify, so don't say I didn't warn you. But please do remember, this false narrative that Elon's destroying Tesla, but every second Tesla vehicle is being spray painted with a swastika, it's a psychological operation to fool NPCs into thinking everybody else thinks and does the same thing. By the way, in totally unrelated matters, I saw some guy on X post this not long ago. I legitimately dislike electric cars, but I am thinking about buying a Tesla just to support Elon Musk. This is a narrative you never hear from in the mainstream media because it goes against their current psychological operation that Elon bad, Elon destroying Tesla, Elon having a pair of balls is bad, etc. But there are many such cases of guys like Rich Cooper who do not like electric cars, hate the idea of electric vehicles, vomit at the thought of something that isn't potentially spewing fossil fuels out, yet still are willing to spend their hard-earned cash buying a Tesla just to support Elon for having a pair of balls and trying to do what's right. This is the reality. In response to this post, I told him to buy 3, and by the way, he probably will at some point. Well, there's an update. A new post from the same guy, how it started and how it's going. He's just had a Model S Plaid delivered. And not only that, but he says he'll get a full review on his channel soon. And there's his new baby. Thought it might be somewhat worthwhile to actually show you guys just quickly who the fuck is this Rich Cooper guy. There's a YouTube channel, almost 750,000 subscribers, but look at the name of the channel. Entrepreneurs in Cars. The banner image here, a gas-powered car. And what do we have here? Well, the intro video here. The guy's literally in a fucking car, an internal combustion engine vehicle. It seems to me like this is what we would traditionally call a car guy, a motorhead. In fact, he himself describes himself as a car guy. There are many such car guys right now who recognize that Elon Musk has taken a massive one for the team. And despite their disdain for electric vehicles and everything they potentially stand for, are still buying them. I mean, this is amazing. The pendulum has swung so far, it's incredible. I've seen countless people saying words to the effect of, I hate electric vehicles, yet I just bought a Tesla because I want to support Elon. But you're not hearing about this in the legacy media, are you? The gap continues to widen between perception and reality. Check this out from CNBS. Video title, Tesla's reputation in rapid decline. I may debunk this horseshit in another video, but for now, let's hear what Dan Ives has to say in credit where it's due. Dan holding steady among the FUD tsunami. I'm most curious to find out during this conversation whether or not the folks on Doomberg discussing this with Dan Ives happened to bring up Elon destroying Tesla, Elon destroying Tesla's brand, Elon bad, or whether they'll be able to resist the temptation to continue the mass psyop, to fool people into thinking Elon's doing meaningful, lasting harm to Tesla and ignoring the fact that people like Rich Cooper and many others who self-admittedly are ideologically opposed to electric vehicles are buying Teslas just to support the guy.
There's definitely nervousness in terms of tariffs and what that's going to mean, but I actually believe it's really about demand. I mean, demand is more robust when it comes to chips, AI revolution, NVIDIA, than it was 4 months ago.
Does Wedbush model out a 5% China GDP as President Xi talked about? Does that diffuse across the Pacific Rim?
Look, I think ultimately a stronger China, more stimulus, is more bullish for Apple. It's more bullish for Tesla in terms of everything we see in China. It's just how important those markets are.
Paul, Apple or Tesla first? You make the call.
I'll go Tesla. Tesla's sales fall 76% in Germany amid Musk electioneering. That's the Bloomberg headline.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Please tell me we're not doing this again. I mean, surely these media outlets aren't that stupid. The Model Y changeover, massive loss of production because they have to upgrade production lines to produce their, by the way, best-selling vehicle on the planet, meaning their highest volume vehicle, meaning if it's experiencing downtime to change over to an updated, refreshed version, it's going to massively impact over the short term the number of vehicles they're delivering because it's the vehicle they deliver the most of. Surely the media outlets know that this is the reason, yet we continue to hear headlines and hear headlines repeated implying that Tesla sales are imploding or they've collapsed or they're down a staggering amount. And rather than the media also simultaneously pointing out, well, they are changing over their extremely high volume Model Y to a new version, instead they seem to be attempting their best to psyop people into thinking it must be because Elon had some opinions, a spine, and a pair of nuts. I don't want to jump the gun here, but I do recall this guy a few months ago got called out by his co-host for being an absolute douche lord, super disrespectful, I think actually to Dan Ives, who had some bullish comments about Tesla. So I think what I'm trying to say is, if memory serves, old mate over here probably isn't a big fan of Tesla.
We've seen that in other markets as well. As an analyst who's followed this company from day one and you model out demand, how frustrating is it for you to see some of these sales numbers and you're like, we really don't need to see those kinds of sales numbers. What's he doing?
Yeah, look, called it. See this, douche lord. What's he doing? As in, what's Elon doing? As in, this must be Elon's fault. No mention of the Model Y changeover. Not sure if people know this, but Tesla has a factory in Germany. You know what it produces? Model Y, which has just been refreshed. Surely Dan knows this, right? But how easy was this to call? He's trying to frame this as if it's got something to do with Elon. They changed over to a new Model Y. There's no magic button to immediately start producing the new refreshed Model Y at the same production rate as the previous version. I mean, it'd be nice if there was. That's not how it works.
Look, well, first off, I mean, 70% of it is actually really more refreshes inventory year over year.
There we fucking go. See, Dan knows. Out here with some facts. I wonder if Douche Lord will acknowledge this. And credit to Dan for immediately pointing this out.
So the numbers sound scary, white knuckle, but the reality is probably about 10 to 15% of what's going on is what I'll call Musk brand deterioration, Doge. But no doubt, look, we just continue to view it as the bet for the ages for Musk is on Trump. Deregulatory, autonomous, that continues to be, that's the goal. That's, I think, worth $1 trillion.
Have we gotten the market away from making cars? So is it about AI? Is it about autonomous? Is it about Robotaxi? Has he been successful in shifting the focus away from making cars?
Look, I think 90% of the value of Tesla going forward is Optimus autonomous rather than actual vehicle.
Really? Wow.
Is there?
For the record, I personally think that Tesla at a $10 trillion market cap is a matter of time. It's not if, but when. And I'm not saying it happens tomorrow, which will be roughly 10 times the value of the company today. But I don't think that's where it ends. Maybe autonomy can't push it much further than that, but Optimus has near infinite upside potential. Sounds insane, I know, but all one need do is first engage the brain, then look at world GDP over time, which is a function of productivity, which is a function not only of useful labor, but compounding returns and leverage from technology, and consider what then would happen if we can scale up the global labor market with useful, increasingly capable, and increasingly intelligent humanoid robots, which will also benefit from the compounding effects of technological innovation. And I rest my fucking case. It wasn't that long ago that Elon Musk threw out a $30 trillion market cap potential in the future. This wasn't a number he pulled out of his ass, but one he'd actually thought about. I certainly agree with Dan that Tesla's automotive business and even their energy storage business over the long term is going to look like a speck relative to autonomy, and autonomy is going to look like a speck, a rounding error relative to the long-term implications of Optimus. But I really don't think Dan or actually anyone's really grasping what Optimus will do over the long term. I also think that analysts are massively underestimating how quickly Optimus comes to fruition. But of course, if Dan were to say something like that, e.g., over the long term, Optimus could make Tesla's entire business look like a rounding error, including autonomy, he'd probably get laughed off the internet, laughed out of the station, laughed off the screen, and laughed out of his industry. Or, alternatively, he'd just go, wait, damn, motherfucker, I better quit my job so I can load up on Tesla stock.
Evidence that's a revenue and profit reality for them, or is that technology and innovation?
It's a great question.
Talk.
It's a great look. FSD today, 15% of Teslas in terms of owners have full self-driving. That gets to 50%. Numbers.
Is there evidence it will get to 50%?
And I believe
I got people, Dan Ives, in New York canceling Ubers that are Teslas. They don't want to drive in Elon Musk's car. Mm-hmm. There's people.
And how does he know? Well, obviously, because they'll tell you, because they want him to know that they're a good person, and the current thing is Elon bad. Oh my God, what a vapid existence, being so concerned about what other people would think about you that you have to tell, hey guys, the other weekend I swear there was an Uber and it was a Tesla and I cancelled it because Elon bad. Am I a good person? Do you approve of me? What a fucking pathetic loser you have to be. If you need to tell somebody about something like this, the reason you're doing this is not because you're actually a good person or virtuous, but because you know you're empty, hollow, nasty, dark, and you need to try and trick people into thinking something else of you. If you genuinely think Elon bad, cool. Cancel your Uber. You don't need to fucking tell your friends that you did it. I want to be clear, right? What's happening right now, this has nothing at all to do with Elon or Tesla. This has everything to do with NPCs. They've just received a recent software update telling them that Elon bad, Elon Nazi, but it's got nothing actually to do with Tesla or Elon. This is about NPCs. They do what they're programmed to do. They believe what they're programmed to believe. Had they received a different software update, These NPCs would be saying and doing different things, attacking somebody different. This is how it works. And in the future, they'll receive a new software update and there'll be a new current thing, and whatever that current thing is, they'll be all in on. Again, this has nothing to do with Elon Musk or Tesla. It's propaganda from the hate-stream media, fooling NPCs with an over-the-air software update that Elon bad. Therefore, the NPCs who don't think for themselves, the same retards who are quadruple boosted, same people that thought Joe Biden was cognitively fine, the same people who think mutilating and sterilizing children is totally fine or worse, deny that it even happens, the same idiots who think it's totally fine. A 6'4" man with some weird sexual fetish who likes exposing himself around women should be allowed in women's bathrooms because he identifies as a woman. The same NPCs who thought Orange Man Hitler. It never has anything to do with the actual target of the NPC behavior. They are programmed. They have no independent thought. And this too shall pass.
Putting black on the label. Germany, as Paul mentions, Europe rather, it's fallen off a cliff. Do you see a management away from a distracted Musk going, let's fix this, or does it fester?
I think as wild in the near term, I think it's contained. In other words, we're talking, call it low single digit as a contained issue. Look, is it a risk, especially given what we're seeing in terms of some of the worries in Europe and especially in the US? But it all comes down to they are going to own the autonomous race in the US and I believe ultimately globally. And for Musk, when you view even some of the brand worries and deteriorations, I view it almost as near-term noise relative to the longer-term sort of value in the story.
The dude's right. I mean, honestly, near-term noise, exactly. And if I'm being real with you guys, the more noise, the better, bruh. Robotaxis mid-year, new, more affordable vehicles ramping mid-year, like this year. The more hysterical, the more successful this Psyop into fooling people, thinking Tesla's imploding, Elon's destroying the company, blah, 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 the better. Dan's absolutely right. This is short-term noise. The noisier the better, in my opinion. And it's a great way to distract people from the long-term inevitability of Tesla's dominance in autonomy.
How about just in terms of time spent? Part of the bullish case for Tesla over the years was it's a bet on Elon Musk, and that is a great bet to make. I don't know what the number is, but it feels like 50, 60, 70, 80% of his time and effort is down in Washington. So does that in and of itself take away from the Tesla story?
Look, perception's reality, right? So I think that is also playing into what's happening in the stock because the view is like he's not dialed in Tesla, he's just focused in DC. But I do believe that that's not true. I do believe he's...
Okay, I got 400 back to 273. I got a trading range off COVID that's banded between 200 and 300 to be polite. Do you have is there a Dan Ives price where you pull the cord?
I think, this thing... At these levels, and it get into the mid 200s,
right?
I believe it is generational in terms of this type of sell-off where I ultimately see Tesla over the coming year. I think Tesla's going to be a $2 trillion market cap.
I forget who said this, but it's such a great quote. The stock market is a device for transferring money from the retarded and emotional to the patient and the rational. See you guys in 2035. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Plus, has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? Hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR or I can keep going. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, These are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.